Good morning and welcome to this segment of Straight Talk. Today I'm with Jeff Jones, who is a director with the Global Biorisk Advisory Council, GBAC, a division of ISSA, and we're going to talk about hoarding situations. Jeff is an expert with forensic restoration and runs a company, BioSheen of Oklahoma, and has been on many of these jobs you're going to see some pictures of. Jeff, welcome to Straight Talk.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. Good morning to you.
Good name, Jeff. So we're going to run through just some pictures, and you can comment on these as we go through them. And at the end, we'll see some positive notes to this job. And just tell us a little bit about it, whatever details you want to share as far as this particular job. So here's the first picture.
Okay. Everything always starts with a phone call. And with that phone call, a forensic operator wants to try to acquire critical incident data: who, what, where, when, how. Notice these are the questions that all the great investigators throughout history, just like Sherlock Holmes, ask: who, what, where, when, how. Holmes would ask why. We leave off the whys in forensic restoration. That's better left to law enforcement and the judicial system. So this initially came across as an unattended death with an estimated time of 10 days, according to the ME, the medical examiner, and they said that the place was extremely unkept. Well, when we went in, what we found was an unsanitary dwelling slash what some people would call a hoarding house. You know, hoarding is actually a psychological condition, a mental issue. It's hard for an inanimate object like a house to have a psychological condition. So what this is the results of the owner or occupant having this psychological condition. So you have a massively unsanitary dwelling. Those are canine fecal matter right there that, you know, this hasn't been picked up in years. I'm sure that you could see urine stains to about the 2 o'clock area of that pile of, and this is just animal fecal matter. So you have an extremely unsanitary, hostile environment that this team will be going into.
Yeah, and this is in a bedroom, it looks like. So whoever
It
lives
is.
here, and it's a very sad story. And thank you for taking these types of jobs on when you're able to.
It is, you know, when
Continue to
all
walk
is
through
said,
that.
yeah, when all is said and done, who we really are, we're caretakers of the human condition. And our job, when the phone rings, someone's life has been put out of balance. The Navajo call that hozo. Our job really is to go and put things back in balance, back in hozo, so that people can get on with their lives and live the Nijoni, the beautiful life, and walk in beauty. That's really what we do.
It's amazing. Just a few other pictures. So it was through the entire house.
Yeah, there was 3 stories of this.
Okay. Okay. How long did this job take you?
Well, when my associate Rob Reynolds, BioSheen of Texas, initially took the call and went out and did the initial site assessment and took his initial ATP readings, he was visiting with the adjuster. A lot of times, these incident sites will not be covered by insurance companies, but this one was because of the unattended death. And the carrier agreed to cover this one on that. Um, the adjuster asked him, "How long do you think this is going to take?" Rob said, "I think we can do it in 5 days." And the adjuster said, "No way. There's no way you can do this." And I went down on a Sunday, taking my team to work in conjunction with BioSheen of Texas. And we went in on Sunday evening to start pre-disinfecting this. And when we stepped out, Rob said, "How long do you think this will take?" And I said, "3 days." And he said, "No, there's no way we can do this in 3 days." I said, "We can do this in 3 days," which
Okay.
we did. And it was an enormous project, a uh, load reduction. We had to remove everything out of the house and a lot of hands-on, detailed forensic cleaning.
Simply amazing. So the adjuster thought more than five. Your partner thought five, and you thought three. And sounds like it happened.
It did. It did. That's the bathroom right there, and that that photo to the right is the bathroom afterwards, which Lori, my wife, and the cutest certified bioforensic restoration specialist on the planet, and I get points every time I say that. And so she worked extensively on that bathroom. And so we had initial ATP scores going into that, which were through the roof. And then we were more than pleased with the scores afterwards, which we can talk about in a little bit.
All right. Tell us a little bit about the workers protecting themselves, because they're in this structure for the entire project with all the contamination and particles in the air. What do we see here?
Sure, we see two certified bioforensic restoration specialists in full microporous fiber protective gear. They've got exterior booties on, which they can doff when leaving the operation zone and moving into the transition zone. They've got two pairs of medical grade nitrile gloves on. They've got PAPRs, powered air purifying respirators. These are Max Airs, which put nice cool air on the cranial area and keep your head nice and cool. The human body is like an engine. When it overheats, it shuts down. And so when you're working on a hoarding unattended death site like this, there's a lot of manual labor involved. And so if you can keep your team cool, they'll be able to perform at a higher level.
Very cool. Now, I think we have one more slide, and then we'll wrap this up. But tell us about this picture and that meter.
Yeah, that's showing the ATP, and let's talk about the ATP just for a second. Some people like it, some people don't. But what the ATP does is measure a level of cleanliness. It was developed for the food and beverage industry, and when we use it in our industry, it lets us know both a base and gives us a starting point of what the cleanliness level is. It's not measuring viruses, it's not measuring or identifying bacterial contamination, but it gives us a cleanliness level because we need to know when we're at clean so that we can disinfect. According to Dr. Michael A. Berry, formerly with the EPA, and according to the CDC, and anybody that's been doing this for any amount of time knows you cannot disinfect a dirty surface. So you want to get those scores down to where now we know that the disinfectant can do what we want it to do. This was 6,057. This is where the occupant passed away and began. Human decomposition begins at approximately 4 minutes after death. At 10 days, we're looking at advanced human decomposition. So this is wood floor on a concrete slab. And so needless to say, the wood floor elements were going to have to be removed. The concrete was going to have to be thoroughly cleaned and washed to prep it for professional disinfecting. So we have a score right here of 6,057. We got into some 8s in some areas. And after it was finished, the day after, because we really got this really nice and wet with disinfectants after it had gone through forensic cleaning. So I told Rob, there's no way that you can do ATP testing post until this dries. So Rob went back the next day and called me, and he said, I've got some scores for you. And I said, what are they? And he said, we're zeroed out throughout most of the residents. I said, very good, very good. He said, however, where the occupant had passed, he said, we're going to have a score there you may not be happy with. And I said, well, look, Rob, concrete is porous. It's its own animal right there. I washed that several times in excess of 220 degrees and then disinfected that. So go ahead, hit me. What was the score? And he said, 4. You got a 4 on that. I said, okay, I can live with that. That's good. That's a
Okay.
good
So,
score.
so what does that mean? What does 4 mean? I mean, 6,000 is obviously heavily contaminated. What's a 4?
Okay, good. That's a great question. 12 and below is considered food grade safe. 10 and below is considered hospital surgery room safe. And so a 4, anytime you're in single digits, that's one of the cleanest environments known. It's
Well,
extremely safe.
congratulations on you and your team being able to do that. That's an amazing uh, scientific result we can see there.
Everything that we do in the world of forensic restoration needs to be based on science, the science of cleaning and professional disinfectant. And thank you for saying team. I am nothing without my team working together. I don't have people that work for me. I have people that work with me.
Well, obviously, every company that's successful has a good team behind them.
Did we have any photos of post
Let's
remediation?
see.
There we
Yes,
go.
we do. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I'm proud of my team and what they accomplished on this. And all of these surfaces were tested after going through pre-disinfecting, forensic cleaning, post-disinfecting, and way to go, because I know they're going to watch this at some point.
yeah.
So thank you guys. You know, you make me proud. I love my team.
So, if as you look at this kitchen, let's just bounce back to the kitchen in the first. I think that's the same, different angle maybe, or
It's
that.
a slightly different angle. There you go.
Yeah.
That's
So,
both sides of it.
yeah, from that to that. So, amazing work, Jeff.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be of service to people.